When I close my eyes at dusk, and the silence falls like lace over the palace walls, I feel you most, like a soft echo within my ribs, like a melody that belongs only to us, not even the grandeur of marble halls, nor the echo of duty pressed into the shape of my crown, can hush the warmth that your memory sends rushing through my blood. There are moments when the weight of centuries rests on my shoulders that I think of you, not as a name, not even as a face, but as the place where my soul feels unclothed, unseen, and yet completely known. I am princess by title, but in my heart, where your name beats like a prayer, I am simply a girl with wind-tangled hair, who once tasted laughter on a sunlit hillside beside you. In those moments I am not heir to a throne, but rather heir to something far more sacred, love that refuses to obey borders, roles, or rules, love that remembers what my crown must forget. I walk corridors carved in history, every step echoing with the footsteps of queens before me, yet none so near as the moment I leaned my head against your shoulder and dared to breathe as if I were ordinary. What luxury it was to be unguarded, unstudied, to laugh in a garden with wild lavender pressing against my dress, your hand in mine, and not a single camera in sight. That world, that private kingdom of glances and silences, remains hidden even from time. I hold it like a secret gem, polished by memory, safe from the tarnish of duty. My words to you now are not public speech or palace prose, they are confessions whispered under star-tucked skies. I do not write history with you, I write poetry, the kind that stays unwritten but lives in touch, breath, and aching. If I must serve, then let this be how, by safeguarding this love as fiercely as I would guard a crown jewel, for in truth, your love is the only throne where my soul kneels willingly. There are mornings when the mirror lies to me, when my reflection returns not my image, but the expectation of thousands. I wear responsibility like silk, it drapes well but chafes in solitude. Yet beneath it all I wear your memory like perfume, subtle but unforgettable. They say I must speak with grace, move with poise, think like a ruler. But when I think of you, I think like a girl whose fingers trembled the first time they brushed against yours. I remember the tremor, the hesitation, the quiet certainty that said, "This is different, this is mine." We built no castles but shared castles in the air. You once told me I carried the stars in my eyes. I laughed, brushing the praise aside. But even now I find myself seeking starlight in every corner of my royal routine, hoping one day it leads me back to you. For what is a star but a guide, burning across time and space, always reaching? And what are we but two seekers, daring to love in the shadows of titles? I have danced at galas with kings, and bowed before men whose names echo through empires. Yet never have I felt more regal than when you called my name like a song no court has ever known. There is a hush to true love, a stillness that makes even trumpets seem too loud. With you I felt the quiet of belonging, the warmth of being seen past the layers. They see a future queen. You saw a girl with questions in her eyes and poems in her throat, and somehow you understood both. In the quiet moments between ceremony and solitude, I replay our last embrace, not for the sorrow but for the truth it held. You never asked me to be less, only real. In a world that weighs every gesture, that dissects every smile, you gave me space to be soft. You once said love doesn't ask for explanations. That's how I know ours was real. Even now when I walk alone among centuries, your love is the only legacy that speaks directly to my heart. Some nights, the sky is so clear I imagine you looking up from your side of the world, perhaps missing the same moon, hearing the same wind. It comforts me foolishly maybe to believe that love can stretch across maps, across decisions neither of us wanted to make. If I were not who I am, would we have lasted? Or is it precisely because I am who I am that our love was so rare, so impossible, so enduring? I write this not as a promise, but as a remembrance. You taught me that real love doesn't fade, it shifts, transforms, hides in gestures, reappears in dreams. You live now in the pauses between royal engagements, in the softness of my voice. When I say thank you to strangers, you are not forgotten, you are integrated. And when they asked what I carry into my reign, they expect policies and philosophies. I'll give them that, but I will also carry this. The way you looked at me when I wasn't a princess, when I was simply Leonor, and loved. Love when true doesn't vanish, it becomes landscape. It becomes part of the internal geography, The compass rose on my chest, always pointing somewhere toward you. I cannot pretend to know what destiny holds. I've been raised to believe in fate, in nation, in lineages. But you taught me to believe in choice, in love chosen daily. I chose you in silence. I chose you in moments the world didn't notice. And I choose to remember you in all the days that follow. If one day a young girl asks me what love is, I won't speak of princes or proposals. I will tell her about a boy who made time stop, about how the world could be chaos, and still in his arms, I found peace. Where your soul rests, mine still visits, and though my feet may never find their way back to yours, my soul remembers the path, it always will. And if in another life, the stars rearrange and crowns are no longer walls, may I find you again, and may we dance finally as no one watches.